Hey guys, Justin Bryan here from selfmadesuccess.com, and in this video I want to give you some really cool entrepreneurship ideas. I'm going to give you 15 businesses that are in some of the newest growing industries that are really trending up right now. And the first one is Instagram consulting. Instagram is rapidly growing. It's one of the fastest growing social media companies out there right now. People love it, especially young people. It's all about pictures and videos. A lot of celebrities are on it all the time, so a lot of people are on Instagram all the time. And it had a reach of over 400 million people in 2015, and it's going up. And for companies with over 100 employees, so pretty good sized companies, Instagram marketing is expected to hit 48.8% in 2016, which means about half of the biggest companies are going to be marketing on Instagram in 2016. So there's a big market growing for Instagram consulting. Of course, we have social media managers and things like that, but it's getting to the point where social media is so important that you almost need a consultant for each platform of social media. So if you're good with Instagram, you're good with images, you know how to optimize, you know how to get people in front of images, you know what hashtags to use, you know how to leverage branding and get people to click on the website and things like that, and really increase brand awareness, you should definitely try Instagram consulting. Number two, you can get a food truck. Okay, everyone loves food of some kind, and food trucks are really growing because a lot of people want to start a restaurant, but restaurants tend to not be very successful, and the vast majority of them fail within the first 3 years. So when it's so costly and so hard to start a restaurant, people have come up with a way by getting a food truck and going where the people are and being a mobile restaurant. So people are really gravitating towards this, especially like millennials, which are the future of the industry, whatever industry you're in. So food trucks are really growing. They're supposed to be a $2.7 billion industry by 2017, and it saves you money. It allows you to travel to different hotspots where people are instead of having to pay for a lease space where enough people will see your restaurant. Plus, it's cheaper, and you can still deliver high quality food, and it's just a cool way of living for a lot of people who they really love being in the mobile food industry. So try a food truck if you're really a foodie and you're really good at making certain types of foods. That would do well. Number three, you could do healthy vending machines. Okay, and healthy vending machines are growing because vending machines are everywhere. We all know that. They're in hospitals, they're in um, resorts, they're in hotels, they're pretty much everywhere you can think of, malls. Um, and millennials and others are becoming more and more health conscious, though. And millennials are the young adults, um, the growing generation of new customers that companies know they have to appeal to. And if people are becoming a lot more health conscious, things like vending machines with junk food are going to go trending down in the future. So, how can you create healthy vending machines? Um, that could be a really good business if you can figure out how to do it. And a company that's actually done this is Human Healthy Vending Machines. You can go to healthyvending.com and kind of learn more about healthy vending machines to kind of get yourself some ideas on how you could do something like this. But you could do things like organic snacks, organic drinks, things like that, and really appeal to the younger generations of people so that it will really rise in the future. Number four is smartphone repair. We all have smartphones. We all have iPhones, Android phones, Samsung phones, Windows phones. The days of flip phones and phones without internet are gone. So repairing a broken smartphone is a big deal, especially because it's so expensive when you go to the manufacturer of the phone. It can cost you as much as a new phone to just get it repaired. So you can create a service kind of like iDrop did, and kind of one of the first of their kind, but you can create a smartphone repair service. And here's their website. You can kind of check it out and see what they do to get an idea. And everyone needs competition, so iDropped is an example of a successful service that's done this, so it works. And smartphone repair is really going to apply to pretty much everyone who's a teenager and older, because smartphones are really taking over. So if you want to start a business, smartphone repair is a great way to go. Number 5, you could do testing services. Now, a lot of companies fail because their apps, their websites, their software is not tested before launch properly. They don't test everything. They test some things, and then when people start using it, they find all kinds of bugs and glitches and issues with the products. So different companies are now coming up that actually help you test things. And there's one company, SOASTA, that does this. They do testing for cloud services, and that's just one example. I've also heard of companies that do customer testing of websites. So you can go through, you can get these people to review your website, go all through it, click through the different pages, blog posts, and things like that, and they'll leave feedback to tell you how it is, so that you can improve what they didn't think was good and build on the things that they liked. So can't remember exactly what that one was called, but there are a lot of great ways you could apply a testing service, especially if you go for a niche instead of a big broad industry, because there's definitely going to be less competition than niche, and the industry is going to grow, so you don't have to worry about really enough customers. There will be plenty. Number 6, you could do a traveling salon, which is hair, nails, all that stuff. And this really applies to people that are really busy or elderly. Baby boomers are becoming elderly people now, and baby boomers, of course, make a big chunk of the population in the US. And if you want to start a business, if you're good at cutting hair, you might want to go somewhere besides working at another normal barbershop or something, and do something like this where you're kind of more independent. You can go around, travel, and help people that just don't have time or the energy to go to a salon, wait around, and make a full day out of it. Number 7 is you can do employee monitoring and make that a service. And it's predicted that the U.S. mobile worker population will actually grow to 105.4 million by 2020. More and more people are working from laptops at home. The problem is, with all this freedom people have working from home for their jobs, comes a lot of problems with productivity, problems with people working the full time they're supposed to, and a lot of problems with distractions and things like that. So they have services that allow you to check in and make sure that you're clocking in at the right hours for your job. The problem is, a lot of companies don't have the resources or the manpower to observe this all the time, or they need more than just stuff like that that watches your time. They need things that watch what sites you're going to, if you're actually getting as much done as you were in the office, and things like that. So you could create a really good employee monitoring service. And next, you can do software training, because everyone needs software pretty much for any business. You need software for automation, you need it for campaigns, you need it for management, you need it for tracking what employees are doing what. You need schedules, you need all kinds of different softwares. You need analytics, software for games. I mean, there's countless different types of software, but there's also countless different types of programming languages that you need to know to create this software, which creates a big problem because it's very complicated, it's hard to learn, and it's very time consuming to learn. So software training is great because you can teach people how to do it. You can get paid very well because a lot of people are demanding this type of skill, so you can make good money, and if you're good with software, you should teach it. Number 9, you can do health clubs for millennials. So health clubs are springing up all over the place, and as I mentioned earlier, millennials are the future. They are becoming more health oriented than previous generations, and they're not as into alcohol and fast food and things like that as much. And so fast food restaurants, for example, are experimenting with automation technology because millennials just don't like dealing with employees. They're trying to adapt to the millennials. Companies like Uber and Airbnb, because of the fascination with millennials and the sharing economy where you can rent out your house for a day or two, or you can rent out your car for a day or two, or you can do things like that. They know it works with millennials, so these companies are becoming very popular. So the trend is, how can companies appeal more to millennials, these young adults that are going to be growing up and spending the money in the future? So gyms are going the same way. They're trying to figure out how to appeal more to millennials. The problem is, a lot of gyms are just kind of a one-size-fits-all for everyone. But some specific gyms are starting to spring up that are specifically for things like Pilates, yoga, CrossFit, and they're gyms dedicated to just those things. So these are becoming popular because they're more of a niche gym for one type of fitness that kind of that attracts a certain group. So if you can create a health club that is targeted for young people and millennials, you could really make a good business out of it. Number 10, box subscription services. And there's a lot of these springing up, and there's a reason, because people love them. People love these personalized boxes that can have food in them, pet supplies, beauty supplies, all kinds of stuff, and they're delivered monthly as you need them. So you go to the store, you buy certain things pretty much every month, and instead of you having to do all that, you can automatically have these things delivered to you monthly in a box, and it's all the products you love, so you don't have to search around to find them and waste time. Or you can create a box subscription service that actually surprises people and gives them things that you think they would like. In other words, you could have some kind of algorithm on a website or something that determines similar products to ones that they like, or similar products in categories that they like, and then send them these things. And there's actually a service that's like this. You may have heard of it. I can't remember the exact name, but it's a clothing company where they basically have a trunk full of clothes that they bring to your house. You can choose the clothes you want to keep and just pay for those. And if you don't like anything, you don't pay anything. So it's kind of a box subscription service, except it's in the trunk of a car, but it's kind of a similar concept. So you can do something where it's the same products every month that people already picked, or products that you think they would like because of categories they're interested in and other products that they've used in the past. And it can be delivered to them by their time preferences, like every month or every few weeks, things like that. So if you're wanting some examples of these types of services, you could go to mysubscriptionaddiction.com, and they have all kinds of different things that in this article, 20 monthly subscription boxes you can try for $10 or less. And they have all different ones that are pretty cheap to start, and they cover all kinds of different things, like desserts. You can do things like fitness stuff, baked goods, beauty supplies. They have all different types of box subscription services that you could learn from. And next is apps for kids. Believe it or not, even though kids don't have their own smartphones and can't pay for their own smartphones, 3/4 of kids now have access to some kind of mobile device, whether it's an iPad or some kind of smartphone. So educational, health-oriented apps would really win parents over. Obviously, the parents are going to be the ones paying for these devices, but they're always trying to find ways to entertain their kids, to keep them busy, keep them out of trouble. And kids are always wanting to play games. They always want to play stuff on phones and tablets now. So there's less competition because a lot of companies target people who are teenagers and older, who are the ones that really use a lot of apps because they're the ones usually paying for the smartphones. But the thing is, more and more kids are using them too, and parents will have kids apps on there for their kids when they have time to waste. So make apps for kids and you could really be hitting a new market without a lot of competition. Number 12 is vintage clothing dealers. You could be a vintage clothing dealer by finding inventory in garage sales, eBay, flea markets, estate sales, etc., and then you can flip it, or you can repair it and flip it. You can do things like get rid of stains, make small repairs, or know somebody that does it. You don't have to do it yourself necessarily, and you just need to know what brands or styles could sell. What is vintage? What kind of brands tend to get big price tags? Things like that. You can resell on places like eBay to collectors in your own shop, in a mall booth, all kinds of different ways. And if you're looking for someone who's done this successfully, you can go to nastygal.com. This is a brand built by a woman who just started out on eBay as just an average seller. She started flipping vintage clothes because she always found some good deals on the side, and then she turned it into a full-time business, wrote her own book called #GirlBoss. You could probably find it on Amazon. And anyway, she built this entire site and she gets a ton of traffic, tons of customers, and all she did was start flipping vintage clothing on eBay and then go from there. So great story, and it shows you how successful you can be doing that. Number 13, you can do a 3D printing service, which is another cool thing. If you can afford to buy a 3D printer, whether you get a small one for a few $100s or you get a really good one for a few $1,000s, you can 3D print things like jewelry, toys, car parts, wheels, and even body parts and organs now, which you probably wouldn't do that. That's mostly for medical, but just showing you the different types of things it's used for, and it's still on the very beginning stages of 3D printing. Most people don't have and can't afford it, so you won't have too much competition with 3D printing services, and you can make a really good living doing this because people are always looking to do it-yourself type stuff or start their own businesses, and you can really help them doing that. And it's really part of the future. I mean, just look at what it's doing for the medical field, being able to print body parts and organs for people that need them. And you can really make a huge impact in all kinds of different industries. And next is you could be a home decorating service. You could have, if you have some kind of experience with making furniture really flow well in a house, if you're very creative, you're artistic, you know how to maximize budgets, you have an eye for stylish furniture and home decor and things like that, making things match, and if you just really have a talent for it, you could do some really good business by just decorating homes for people. I mean, it'd be a pretty cool job if you can do it well. And you can use before and after visuals of people whose rooms and houses you've transformed to help with your marketing and really get people excited. Those are great ways to do this. And you know, the market is really rising for people because they are watching these shows on do-it-yourself networks, HGTV and things like that, where these housing shows are getting really popular, and people are always looking to improve their homes because they spend so much time there. So if you could do home decorating well, you can make a great business out of that. And last but not least, you could do a valet parking service, which is something a lot of people don't think of, but it really doesn't cost hardly anything to start this. You might need an employee or two, or a couple of people that you're friends with that might want to join you, and you split whatever you make. Whatever. Valet parking can be applied to, you can market your services to wedding planners, you can to people hosting parties or events, corporations hosting conventions, trade show organizers, charity groups. There's all kinds of events going on all the time. Just go look at your city website and you can see all kinds of events. It seems like there's something going on every day of the year if you look hard enough, and your valet parking service can be for hire in these different events. So you could even expand it, get more employees, and be at multiple events at one time, bringing in tons of money, and people would be attracted to working for you in this service because you get really good tips, because the people who do valet tend to have pretty good money on them, and it's very little investment, and it doesn't require a lot of experience with anything or college degree. So valet parking is something a lot of people might consider doing. So you could probably get tons of employees without having to, break the bank. So as far as this goes, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you got something from it, if you got some ideas that you think you might be interested in, or some things that you didn't think of before, don't forget to like and subscribe so I can create more videos like these to help you start your own business and find something you really want to do and do it well. If you want to add some things to this that you think should have been in the video, or you want to let me know what you thought about the video, don't forget to leave a comment. I love to hear from you. And if you want to contact me directly, if you want to get in-depth blog posts on how to do these types of things, how to start your own business and do it well, if you want to get courses on how to do everything step by step, if you want to get tools that you can use, things like that, you can go to selfmadesuccess.com. And other than that, I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope you have a great day.